gauntlet of an air raid warden or two in the Blitz, and when the siren went, you'd get some funny looks scurrying off to the underground with bags stuffed full of finery, with a mink stole slung about your shoulders. But I'd be damned if I was going to let a German bomb deprive me of the spoils of a hard day's work. But with the blackout gone, there was more risk of being tumbled. Round our way, most folks have always known better than to ask too many questions, no matter what they saw coming and going from my flat. They're happy enough to pay for a bit of stuff on the side when they need it, especially if it means they don't have to keep slapping gravy browning on their legs, because I've got them some nice new nylons. And if anyone feels compelled to talk to the law about me, well, let's just say they'll soon realise that my jewels aren't just for show. Diamonds are hard, and they can come in handy as a knuckle duster when you have enough of them. I wear one on every finger. Alice Diamond by name and Diamond by nature, as I like to say. You can call me a thief, but I prefer to say I'm a hoister. I liberate clothes from shop rails and coat hangers and find them a good home. Perhaps I'll give a working-class girl a chance to shine in a dress that she could never dream of affording, never in a month of Sundays. However, after a particularly busy Monday spent in the West End of London, I can make all her dreams come true for a fair price, given the risks I'm taking. Shoplifting with my gang, the 40 Thieves, is a proper career, with skills honed over years. A tradition that's passed down by word of mouth from one generation to the next. I get teary-eyed when I think of it, really, because we can trace our heritage all the way back to the days of good old Queen Victoria herself. I bet she could have stashed quite a few furs in her bloomers, given the size of Her Majesty. I could have made good use of those when I was out shopping. No offence, Mum. It's a year to the day since the war ended and everyone's having another knees up for the victory parade. But I ain't exactly in the mood for a party. Everything but the air we breathe is still on coupons. Make do and mend. Mrs. So and so. Clothing on the ration, forgive me for saying, but those things are for mugs who want to wear moth-eaten jumpers and go around with holes in their stockings. And don't get me started on the utility dresses they've still got in the shops. I wouldn't be seen dead in them. What kind of victory is that? It's a matter of pride that no matter how hard up I am, and believe me, there have been times I've been down to my last brass farthing, I've still kept up appearances. Just like the quality over the water in Mayfair. The posh folk might say we're all in it together, but they're not going without like we are. They ain't fooling me, not for a minute. I can honestly say, everything about me, every stitch I've got on, is crooked. But I've worked hard for it, just the same. Harder than quite a few blokes I could mention, who spend their wages down the pub and leave the missus short for the housekeeping. Talk about doing an honest day's work. And what with the prices of things in the shops these days, it's hard to say who's robbing who when you pay for things at the till. Not that I've done that very often, but at least I'm truthful about it. And don't go thinking I've lost touch with my roots, even if I am dolled up in my finery. Some of my best contacts are people you wouldn't bat an eyelid over if you met them in the street. The flower seller at Waterloo Station looks like nothing more than an old drunk, but she's sharp as a tack. She's called Lumps and Bumps because she's always falling down and hurting herself when she's been on the sauce, but she's my eyes and ears in that neck of the woods. Old Lumps has the alarming habit of warming the cheeks of her arse by the fire in the local boozer, and she doesn't wear knickers either, so that sight is not for the faint-hearted. Her skirts haven't been washed since the general strike, I'd wager. Her teeth are like moss-covered tombstones, and her breath reeks. But I always listen closely because her tip-offs are pure gold. Last week, she heard that a couple of girls from Waterloo had got a little ruse going, where they were knocking off some rolls of silk from the cloth factory by winding...